So the dream of having a top view RANCHU pond is starting to happen. I have always wanted to keep these fish. It's ever since I went to Thailand, must be about 10 years ago now. And just outside Bangkok, I visited a warehouse that was a fish shop. And there was loads of fish there, but the ones that caught my attention were these RANCHU, top view RANCHU. I got speaking to the owner, he told me about them. The video quality is absolutely terrible, sorry about that, but that's the phone I had at the time, 10 years ago. But it does kind of show you really why I wanted these fish. The deep reds, the pure whites, a selection of those fish I think just look absolutely amazing, especially the square head looking down on the top. Now this is a selection of Andrew James RANCHU. This was from a visit to Star Fisheries in 2016, and they had a few sort of young fish for sale, and once again that got my attention. So Andy let me know he had some Andrew James RANCHU in this year, and I decided today was the day. So I went over to his store, and I didn't take any footage when I was there, unfortunately, but I selected two fish. I didn't know whether they were male or female at the time. They're quite young, but my water was still green, but I'd worked out by this point it's because of lack of UV. It was nothing that would harm the fish, and the new filter was doing its job. So I was happy enough that I could add some extra fish. Now they're going to live in this DIY pond that I built temporarily. The idea is that I'm going to still build the in-shed RANCHU pond, and that's something that I've been working on gradually. So there will be a video showing how I've done that. I've tried to do it as cheap as possible, just to make sure I'm not breaking the bank. But here we can see I selected two really nice fish. On a side note, I kept finding all these, what I believe would be snail eggs. I saw lots of baby snails in my last video, if you saw. So maybe you can help me out. I did ask what species you thought the snails might be, but I think they're snail eggs. Anyway, back to the fish. So I never really grip acclimate. Some people do, but I just float the bag. And I just wanted to show you these fish because the RANCHU pond is actually starting to happen. Now, I did get to select the fish from, there was around 10 of this size when I went to Star Fisheries. I spent a while looking at them. They were bowled up, and I looked underneath, checked the fins, checked the shape of the body, made sure they had both anal fins, which I know is an important factor for fancy goldfish, and really that their swimming pattern was what I was after. I know that top view RANCHU are marked highly on their swimming pattern. Not that I'm going to show these, they're not my fish, but I might breed from them in the future. That's one idea. And you can see there's a couple of different types there. They're both red and white, really nice deep reds. I wanted to make sure I got those because that was what had drawn me to these fish in the first place. So this was the first one. From the top, it was more of a red colour, but it still had some pure white on it as well. And what really drew me to this fish, and the other one really, and Andrew James's fish overall, is that squared off head shape, which you do get in other top view RANCHUs, but there's a particular shape. Okay, so this was the second fish, and this one, I loved the markings on it. The tail, in my opinion, was splayed out absolutely perfectly. It had what I think is called a jade seal, which is where they've got that marking on their wen. That marking is kind of like a reverse tancho spot, which sort of bleeds in from the white around the wen. Now they did start getting chased. Don't know whether they thought that the longer bodied fish thought they were female because of their shape, but it didn't last long. Now this is a very short video. I'm going to get some more footage of them and start to get this new top view RANCHU pond ready.